All right, I think we're good to go. I think we are good to go. Well, that didn't... Oh, it's here still. Let me do this. Oh my god, dude. Nothing was working this morning. I had to like install a bunch of new updates. The whole world decided to stop working on me. All right, but I think we're good to go. I'm going to finish crafting these. And then we will we're going to go XP a little bit this morning. It's going to be a shorter stream. Oop, I'm going to change this to 40 fighter. 40 fighter. Oh wow, this isn't 171. Isn't the next tier? Must be 181. Maybe 175 or 176, but whatever. We'll do it. Finish that up later. All right, I'm heading over to the island now. Yeah, it's all good. I'm right behind you, actually. We can just take it slow and fight a few of these. I believe at the island we can do. We can split them up. I shouldn't get anything. I might get A2 pull once. Then it should be fine. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to be leaving for the funeral home around 10:30, 10:45, something like that. Good morning, Kraft. How you doing, bud? Brown Butcher, welcome, welcome. Mom just wasn't she's not comfortable going by herself, so I'm gonna go do that with her. I teleported. Oh, there you are. I only have a little bit of wood, though. Oops. Oh, well. We'll be fine for... Okay. Yeah, I'll have enough for, like, right now. For at least the next... probably hour or so. We might run out by... actually, yeah. We'll have enough for, like, an hour and 30 minutes. What do you think? Just feels right to me. Like riding a bike. Yeah. Level 40 fighter. You're a longtime fan of the Yandra. Yes, this is my umpteenth fighter. Yeah, I've been playing this game a lot. I've got a couple thousand hours in the game. You've been testing for a while? Yeah, I've been testing for a long time. Yeah, you can't see it in your chat either. It's probably filters. Try filter combat and then pet, because technically it's not pet combat, but the pet combat shows up under NPC, so... Okay, yeah. That... Hey, what's going on, Nova? How are you doing? Let me know when you think you have enough mana. Oh boy. What a day, what a day, what a day. Gonna be a shorter stream today. I've got some things I gotta do. About to leave for work, listening to your stream. Nice. I appreciate it. And I didn't stream yesterday because my stepdad did pass yesterday morning at 7:45. So of course yesterday, you know, was spending time with family and doing all that. What's that? You say you ready? All right, I'm gonna pull the worker. We'll test that one first. So, yeah. Anyway, I have to do some stuff with that again today. I'm going to be going with my mom to the funeral home this afternoon, or, well, before noon today at like 10:30 or 11. So I'm only going to be here for a couple hours. Then I'm going to go do that with her. I may or may not stream when I get back. So we'll see. What's that? Yeah, it's buffs, debuffs are so powerful. Very beneficial. But anyway, I hope everybody else's day is going well. Well and swell. I have gotten more gear. For those that missed out on that, we got a couple of these Moonveil bracers. Really good tank wrists. We got the Thirstbound grips. Pretty much the best gloves in the game for tanks. Got the Ironhide girdle. And last but not least, we got our Eclipse Cleaver. Yeah. So, got some new digs, man. New digs. Oh, wait. And the waterproof cloak. Definitely some new stuff there. Man, I'm still trying to wake up a little bit. It's been a pretty restless couple of days. The devs of this game screwed up thinking they would create a bunch of FOMO by only letting streamers test it. Well, they didn't only let streamers test it. So I don't know where that came from. I don't know why you think that. You know, sorry you think that. Kind of glad they did because after watching, I'm somewhat over it. Okay, well. Sorry you feel that way, but good luck to you. What's going on, Vor? How are you? I don't know. I think it's just people trying to bash on the game because they don't like it. Yeah, whatever. It's fine. They can bash all they want. A lot of people want to be in too, aren't being allowed. Yeah, there's a lot of people that aren't in. You're right. Due to the lottery system and, you know, just the way that they're doing it. Yeah. It's not that they're not allowed, they're not getting in. My viewers have decreased. Well, I started an hour earlier on my stream, and I've only been streaming for 15 minutes. So there's a couple factors there. But yeah. Well, welcome to being the most negative person in the game, I guess. Yeah, and who really cares what the viewers are, you know? We're having fun. The people that are here are having fun. Anyway, yeah, there you go. Danny got in, not a streamer. Yeah, it just, you know, perceptions aren't always what they appear to be. I got 2. We're standing next to each other if we can root one. But it's okay. Just say the word, giveaway, watch the numbers soar. Exactly, Italica, exactly. You're just sending a message? Okay. Yeah, have fun sending your message. What chat are you reading this troll in? Oh, he's in YouTube. Whole reason you're being allowed to play is because you're a streamer. That's an untrue statement. Yeah. That's an untrue statement. But, you know, if there's nothing, nobody's going to be able to convince you otherwise, so it's fine. Thank you for the view, though. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming in and being part of the community. Helps me out quite a bit. This plan is working tremendously well. Yeah, you think so, Fake Band? I think it's doing fine. Yeah, I think it's doing fine. You know, they obviously there's going to be some hiccups, no matter what the devs decide to do on anything, right? Whether it's how they send out beta invites versus how they update the game versus, you know, having maps or not having maps in the game. Everything is going to have a positive and a negative to it, and some people are going to like it, some people are not going to like it. And you know, that's it. That's it. You know, and if you don't like it, well, then you don't like it. You know, I don't really like the color orange very much, so I don't wear it. I do like the color blue and green a lot, so you know, I'll wear those often. Yeah, they are. Grats 40. Thank you so much, Synalytic. I appreciate it. See you in 3 months when you log in along with the rest of the world at level 1. Yeah, with nothing. Chill out. Exactly, Fake Band. I wouldn't worry about it, bud. I have a question for you, if I may. I'm a dad gamer. How do we convince the community to allow solo farm? Slower leveling, but still efficient would be nice. So right now, Danny, it actually is extremely efficient to solo on several classes. I would say on some classes, it's more efficient to solo than it is to group up. We were actually talking about this in my group, my static group, where a couple of friends of mine were actually soloing and duoing with Faster XP before they joined our group. And then when we had, you know, a full group of 6 players, they were like, oh, the XP actually went down. Now, for some classes, the XP is better. Like for me, I need to be in a group. I have to be a duo or better. And even I've noticed that, though. In my duo that Gith and I do in the mornings, right now, we do XP quite a bit faster than when we're in a full party of 6. A lot of that has to do with how quickly you're pulling. It has to do with your group makeup, you know, a lot of things like that. So a solo or duo is still very, very efficient in this game. So you shouldn't have to worry about that too much. I don't personally like it. I think that we should be getting better XP in groups, but right now it's not like that. The dad gamer, you kind of feel left out. Yeah, I mean, I can feel that for sure. You have 27 fighter. Just having fun, Jeremy's nice. I'm glad you're having fun, bud. You know, I'm really enjoying this game. I think it's great. I think what they've done with it is great. So, absolutely having a blast. You know, do I agree with every decision they make? No. You know, clearly I don't agree with every decision they make. But yeah, still enjoying it. You should make critical tier lists on XP and various group sizes based on class. Sure, people would disagree, but it's different content. And you say it's your opinion. Yeah, I say everything's my opinion. It doesn't matter how many things. If I say something is my opinion, I still get people that are just like, you're wrong. And it's like, okay, well, it's literally my opinion. Opinions can't be right. Opinions are not right nor wrong, right? So they're neither. They're just an opinion. You know, a project is really getting successful when the trolls come out. I mean, that is kind of true. That's kind of true. It's at least getting attention, right? That's the same thing when you know you've made it when you have haters. You know, like you're able to get under somebody's skin. You know you've made it. Because jealousy, man. Whew. Jealousy might be the worst. It brings out the worst in people. It really does. What zone do you recommend? 18 wizard to solo. 18 wizard. That's tough for soloing. I would go probably. You might. Maybe, I don't know, Maximus. You might be able to go into Fallen Pass and try to grab a couple of the skeletons in Fallen Pass, like right there at the zone line. If not there, you could probably go and find some Ashira down in Sungreet Strands. That, like, farther down in Sungreet Strands, towards the Glass Flat zone line, there's higher level Ashira that should be in the higher teens, that you should be able to go and solo quad kite or something. Hey man, thanks for taking the time to put so much content out. As another person in the beta invite waiting room, I've been eating it all up. Awesome, I'm glad. Thank you so much, Left Sock. I appreciate you stopping by and saying that. I'm gonna keep trying to put out more content. As I can. For those that are unaware of what's going on with me right now, is my stepdad's been very, very sick for a few months, and he did pass away yesterday morning, which is why I didn't stream yesterday morning. So I'm going to be a little hit or miss for the next couple of days, but we are definitely going to be continuing doing content for this game. So you definitely look out for that, and I appreciate you all watching it, hanging out, commenting on videos, and coming here to Twitch chat and stuff and hanging out with me. So really, really do appreciate that. Yeah, fake band. I agree with you, buddy. I agree with you. I don't agree with everything and anything. Yeah, Synalytic. There's a lot of things I disagree with in the game, but it doesn't make me love the game any less, you know? I have my opinions on things. I agree you should get better XP as a group. What classes are better for solo, in your opinion? I'm doing SH, so Shadow Knight, or BH. Which BH? You talking about the Beastmaster? Right now, any of the pet classes are very good for soloing. So your Necromancer, your Elementalist, your Beastmaster, all very good. Any charm class is still very, very strong. You know, I wasn't here yesterday to really talk about charm that much, but charm is still very strong. Don't think that those charm nerfs nerfed your ability to charm. They did not. They absolutely did not. It is still probably... got two. It is still probably the best XP. And the best way to... Like, the best meta. So, yeah, absolutely, guys. Be using charm. We still use it in my group. In the words of Taylor Swift, people throw rocks at things that shine. That is true. That is true. Taylor Swift, man. I've heard my share of Taylor Swift songs. What is there to do in this game? Looks like a snooze fest. It is a little bit slow. Yeah, it's a slower paced game, but that's intentional. So what you do in this game is you hang out, socialize with your friends while playing a game. Or, you know, if you want to do... If there are things to do in the game, you can grind out experience, which is going to be a lot of what you do. You can go after items. There's raids. There's quests. There's just exploring different things, reading the lore. It depends on what you're into. You know, I can't really say. Everybody plays games differently. And some people are going to enjoy playing this game in a different way than others. So, you know, can't really say what you should do in the game. But there's a lot of options for a variety of different play styles. Take it with your friends. Yeah, eat a sandwich while playing. Yeah. Condolences to you and your family. Thank you so much, Moose. I appreciate that, bud. Sorry to hear that. I was afraid when I didn't see you yesterday. Yeah, that's exactly what happened for. I got up at... For those that have been following the story and following what's going on with me personally outside of the game, my mom got a call at 1 a.m. yesterday. So I logged off the game at about 11 a.m. or 11 p.m. the day before. I was playing late with some friends, and we were just kind of hanging out, chatting. And I went to bed, and my mom got a call at 1 o'clock in the morning. She woke me up, and we all, myself, my mom, and my sister went up to the hospital at... We were there. My mom was there at like 2. I got there at about 3, and my sister got there about 4. And we stayed there with my stepdad until 7:45 when he actually passed. So we were all 3 there. Sorry. Trying not to get emotional. We were all 3 there though when he passed. So it was good. It was very good. Very, very good. He went out on his terms, and he was happy when he left. All right. We're gonna move on from that. I don't really want to chat about that too much. This game isn't some people's speed for sure. Yeah. This game is definitely different for different people. Like I've been saying, different strokes for different folks. Oh man, woo! We'll be all right. Everything's gonna be fine. Thank you so much, Obes. Real sorry for your loss. Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. I really do appreciate it. I've heard Shadow Knight is the better tank for soloing. That is true, I would say. Shadow Knight's probably the best overall solo tank, and it's probably the best overall group tank. Shadow Knight's very, very strong. Paladin is a very good tank still, though. It's got some things that it can do. How's Paladin compared? So, yeah, Paladin's going to be lower damage. Sorry, I'm just moving straight on from what we were talking about. I'm just going to power through it, because... Metallurgy. Oh, this is the Druid one that I think he already has that. But Paladin's good. It's just going to be lower DPS, but a lot more effective health pool. It's got the ability to heal. It's actually got really, really good healing potential on it. So, yeah. Favorite game of all time? There are things I don't like about them. Yeah, exactly. I'm curious how Bard feels solo. Haven't found any content on it yet. Bard right now is still amazing, even charm kiting. But Bard, I think, got the biggest nerf to charm kiting. And it wasn't really a nerf. It was just a correction. It was a rebalance because Bard was just really, really strong. But currently, Bard's soloing. They can still charm kite for now. They can charm mobs and have them fight each other and do all that. But if they continue to tweak charm the way that I hope that they do, bards are going to be a little bit less soloers. They're going to be more group focused, which I think is a good thing. You know, I don't have an issue with bards being group focused. There are a lot of classes that are. So we'll have to see what happens with bard, but they can still, even if they remove charm, bards can still snare kite. So they have an ability called Dissonant Rift, and they can stack that, and they get 5 of those, I think, throughout their gameplay. So if you stack Dissonant Rift, you can have up to 4 of those up at once if you're not doing any other song. Or you could have like 3 of those up plus a... God dang it, I got 2 again. Sorry, their Dissonant Rift song, which allows them to put a dot, and then they can run away from the mob and basically keep them dotted permanently. It still works. It's just a little bit slower. I love classic MMOs, but this game seems very desolate, and if I need to release July 1st, I don't see how. Yeah, I mean, people are not going to see it. There's a lot of people that won't see it. This game is definitely special. It's going to take... It's a special type of person that plays it, you know? It's somebody that isn't into the action combat, that isn't looking for the newest, most updated graphics, and it's more about world building, it's more about socializing, it's more about exploration. It's more about those things. And that, of course, it's a different type of gameplay, right? Completely different type of gameplay than what a lot of people are used to, and what a lot of people are into. Yeah, these keep spawning at the same time. Yeah. Biggest hurdle modern games have about a game is there's no quest log telling you what to do next. Yeah, that's true. This game is very hard to get into because it does take a while to learn the nuances of it, for sure. You gave a suggestion for a better UI. What do you think of the modern UI? Don't think it takes away from experience and reduces the barrier of entry to new players. So they're working on the UI. The UI is definitely old school. It feels a lot like old school EverQuest. But they're working on the UI, and I think we're going to get some changes to it soon-ish. Not like in the next week or anything, but it's soon-ish. So yeah, just keep an eye on it. Make sure you're putting that feedback into Discord and letting them know. I believe Encrypt is working on the UI quite a bit, and he's doing a great job. Doing a great job of adding to the UI. Hey, what's going on, Feisty? Good morning, by the way. I didn't send you a text this morning. I was kind of all over the place. Here's the world. Do what you want. Yeah, it's more like playing... It's more like D&D video game, kind of. Yeah, it's kind of like a D&D video game. Clearly, time to talk more about how Monk DPS needs love. Monk DPS does need love. There's a there's a new item that I know about. So that's good. That's a great segue, Italica. There's a new item in the game that increases your hand-to-hand combat instead of changing your damage. So it does go into your primary and secondary slots. I think it's primary and secondary. It might be primary only. But it does go there, and it's hand-to-hand. And instead of of giving you a damage delay on your weapon, it adds to your damage delay. So let's say your hand-to-hand combat is like 10-30, so 10 damage, 30 delay. This item increases the damage by 2 and 0.3, well, 10 and 3 delay, or 2 and 3 delay. Sorry. So because your damage goes from 10-30 to 12-33. So it just increases your damage a little bit. It's a really cool idea, and I am interested in checking it out. Definitely want to see how that plays out. So it's going to be really good for monks. Paladin main, nice. Nova, nice. Can you show what gear you're using at 40? Yeah, I'm using... so I've got a lot of gear now. This right here is 40 AC, 4 strength, coming off of the orc named over in Vale of Zintar. I have a necklace that I did a quest on right here. So this is a quest over in Keeper's Bite. This is just a crafted helmet still from really early on. Just a copper plate crafted helm. Just iron plate visor, you know, just regular old iron. Going down this side, we got the weatherproof cloak. I got this just recently. This is, you know, you need to be around level 40 to get that cloak. Iron plate, rusty iron plate shoulders, so I need to get better shoulders for sure. We got 2 Moonveil bracers. Again, this is, you need to be around level 40 to get these. Probably the best overall wrist in the game for tanks right now that I'm aware of. So that'll last you for a long time. These gloves are best overall gloves for tanks right now in the game. That I'm aware of. There might be some better ones out there, just haven't seen them yet. We got a couple of rings of the striker. So those rings are from you okay on mana or no? Okay, yeah, no worries. I'm gonna take a quick med break. There's a ring. Yeah, he uses a lot. Ring of the Striker. These are from the Sangrel over in Keeper's Bite. We got this Ironhide girdle, which is also around level 40 to get. And then the other Moon Bracer. Oh, the pants. These pants are the quest pants over in Keeper's Bite. And then the Eclipse Cleaver. There we go. Eclipse Cleaver. Got that recently. It's really, really good. You'll see these flooding the market probably pretty soon. We've gotten a bunch of them. And then the Debt Carver. Okay. So yeah, getting some decent gear now, finally. It's, you know, it's been kind of slow going gear-wise, but we're getting there. Is this beta and still the #1 choice currently for old school MMO? I would say yeah. It is still beta, yes. And then I say yes. Currently, it is the #1 choice for an old school MMO, in my opinion. Of course, some people are going to like it. Some people are not going to like it. We already had a hater in this morning that clearly either doesn't like me or doesn't like the game and just wants to start drama. Which healer class are able to solo? Okay, Druid. Druid is going to be your best solo healer, yeah. If you want to try to solo, but you want to be a healer, I would go Druid. Your Shaman can solo, but not as well as the Druid. And then your Cleric is the least or the worst soloer of them. I love the footstep sounds in Wormsbane and the Cobblestones. Hope team sound. Yeah, they're doing a great job with some of the sound. I agree. We're gonna start seeing, you know, some of those things slowly come around. Let's see. We helped our monk get those yesterday. I think it added like 4 or 5 base damage. Awesome. Yeah. Where do they drop, Jeremy? I'm not even sure where they drop. I've just seen them around. The new UI the stats explain what they do on character creation. So they're saying that they want to do that, Nova, but we'll have to see how much info they actually give. They don't want to give too much information on what the stats do, but a lot of feedback is basically saying you need to give some information on what the stats do. So we have some of that information that they have given us. But yeah, they still don't say it on character creation right now. But yes, in the future, that is the idea. Is on character creation, they're going to say strength helps with your damage. Stamina is going to increase your health pool. And they're going to say things like that. Now, they're not going to say the extent. They're not going to say what the caps are. You know, they're not going to go into that much detail. But that is the idea for the future, yes. Has anyone gone like generic zone connection world map yet? Yeah, there's one on the wiki that shows you what zones connect to what zones. So you can find that on the wiki. All right, we're kind of broken these 4 up. We'll just pull these 4 and make it easier. Just won't pull a 5th. Technically, we could do probably up to 6, but yeah, we might get a double pull if we do those. I'm American in the UA, and I cringe every time I hear you say pants. Why is that? Pants? Are they pants? I don't know. How do you say it? Monk fist drop off beetle named Ember in a cave near the quarry in Sungreed. Oh, okay, Ember. Okay, I know where that is. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate that, bud. Why do you think they want to be secretive about stats? It's not that they want to be secretive. Well, I mean, I guess it is. They don't want to give out all the details. They don't want to be like, you know, the stat cap is 255, which is what I think it is, but it may not be. And if it is that, they may change it later. They don't want to give us like details. Strength gives you this calculation. That's kind of what I'm talking about, like the details, giving you like the calculation of the numbers. Excuse me. Trousers. Nice. Not looking for a lot, just basic understanding. Like knowing strength increases bow damage. Yeah, that's something where that they changed recently. Dex apparently did increase bow damage previously, and now strength increases bow damage again. Because I believe strength increased bow damage in the beginning. Then they changed it to Dex, then they changed it back. Dex increases your proc. So I can give you a quick rundown for those that are not aware of what stats do. So we're looking at our stats here. We got strength is going to increase your melee, your physical damage. Any type of physical damage that you do, strength is going to add to that. Your stamina is going to increase your health pool and also increase your resistance to being dazed by mobs. So when you get hit by physical damage, you can become dazed, and stamina increases your resistance to that. Agility is going to increase your chance to dodge, block, and parry. So you can take less damage. Very good tank stat. Your dexterity is going to increase your hit rate with physical weapons, as well as your your proc chance if you have a proc on a weapon. Your intelligence is going to increase your damage done with spells, as well as your mana pool if intelligence is higher than wisdom. And then your wisdom is going to increase your healing done with healing spells and increase your mana pool if your wisdom is higher than your intelligence. So whichever is higher between intelligence or wisdom will dictate your mana pool. And then your charisma is going to give you a little bit of better selling. So like you're going to sell for higher and you're going to buy items for less based on your charisma, or it's a factor in that. It's not 100% based on that, but it's a factor. And then also your fear and charm spells are going to be affected by charisma. I'm hoping that they make it to where even like your mesmerize spells may even be affected by charisma. Certain other abilities, they want to add more abilities, I think, to the charisma pool so that classes kind of need charisma. The only issue I have with that is they kind of need to let us know that before early access, because some people might want to put charisma. Like if they add in an ability later on to say paladins that is based on charisma, they kind of need to let us know that they're going to do that, because what if I make a paladin in early access and charisma right now is not worth having for a paladin? What if it is worth having for a paladin later? So, you know, that's the only one that I would say is a kind of maybe right now. Pants are different here. Trousers. Okay, so trousers are like what you put on your legs. What are pants? Pants are your underwear? Ah, okay. Like briefs. I gotcha. I gotcha. One of the most memorable experiences in EQ was my first time in Kithakor. Dude, yeah, that was rough. That was a rough zone. Any zones that are similar, fear-inducing? Yeah, I would say that what's fear-inducing in this game is the first time you try to run through Vale of Zintar without see and viz. You're going to have spiders that are stealth spiders that are just going to jump out of nowhere and root you and poison you and snare you, and they are rough. They are rough. Max stamina and agility on your paladin. Yeah, that'll be good for paladins for tanking. I put points into stamina. I think I maxed stamina and agility on my tank. On this character right here. I put I maxed out stamina for what I could do for starting class, for my starting abilities. And then I added like 2 points into I added 2 points into stamina. Or no, agility. Sorry, agility. Not a pants, not a command. Nice. Charisma is most OP stat IRL. You're not wrong, Helter Smelter. It is the most OP stat IRL. Doesn't matter how strong you are. Doesn't matter how smart you are sometimes. You know, like, both of those things are important stats. Charisma, though, man, it can get you very far in life, for sure. You lost your corpse in Kithakor. Had to have a low 50 paladin rescue it for me. Most horrifying place for a long time. Yeah. If you die out in the middle of Vale of Zintar, you need to have a higher level player help you out, because you're not going to be able to walk around Vale of Zintar without see Invis. If you have Invis, you can get through a lot of it, but if Invis breaks, you better recast it very quickly. Those spiders are everywhere. If you go into Vale of Zintar with see Invis and you walk around in certain areas, you would just see like 100 spiders just walking around. Yeah, it's super scary. Oh, that's a cotton belt. Whoops, there we go. Let's put this up here. Ah, forgot to do my sharpening stones. Hey, what's going on, Twitchagore? How are you? Sorry, I had to check my phone real quick. We're still getting a lot of text messages and stuff from family, so... Of course, you know, like, totally to be expected. Highly recommend using sharpening tools, by the way. They add quite a bit of strength. It's like just a strength buff, a free strength buff. You have to use, or weighted weapons. Sorry, I'm getting a bunch of text messages. Okay, sorry. Yeah, family's just texting me a bunch right now. The spiders are awesome druid pets, though. Fun when they break. They are awesome druid pets. We actually use them for a little bit in our group. We have a druid that groups with us quite often, a friend of mine. And when we were killing orcs recently, he used the spider pet. I don't remember which. I'm not keeping up with the rotation here. I think we're good. Yeah, there we go. I wasn't sure which mob we were on here, so we're good now. Can necromancers corpse summon in this game? They can corpse summon. However, it is 10 gold for the coffin to summon a corpse. Now, I am level 40, and I have 20 gold. Now, you will probably have more money than I do if you're playing a fighter or a rogue or an archer or a monk at this level. But if you're playing a spellcaster, you might have less money than that. So, it's very expensive to summon corpse. Very, very expensive. Where did that dagger come from? The dagger is a quest item. I do have the walkthrough on the quest. So this dagger, these pants, these boots, there's a chest piece, and wrist guards, all part of a similar quest area. I have it on my YouTube channel, so definitely check that out if you're interested in getting that dagger. A whole walkthrough. It's not a long video. I try to do shorter videos for my walkthroughs when we do quest stuff. I think it's only like a 5-minute long video. But you do need to be around level 30 to get that. Give or take. Depending, like... The mobs that you have to defeat are 31 to 34. So around level 30 based on your personal capabilities in your group, etc. Dex is king always. You think so? I don't know that Dex is really... you're talking about in real life or you're talking about in game? Dex is a good stat for sure, but it's not really needed as much in this game. What are your thoughts on hell levels? Alex had a video on it the other day, and I thought the choice of level was kind of odd. 30 instead of 29, for instance. Well, the choice of levels is fine, the way that they have it set up. So it's every 5 levels starting at level 20. So 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Then it stops until 51, and it goes from 51 to 59 on the hell levels. Personally, I think it's okay. I don't really think it's necessary. But, you know, like, it just slows people down a little bit, leveling up. It kind of gives you, you know, it makes you kind of stop and have a break point at certain levels. It just makes you spend a little bit longer in that level. You know, it can kind of help you, gain, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of help you gain some money to buy your spells. Kind of slow you down a little bit for certain parts to gain some gear, some equipment. You know, it's okay, but they could also just smooth out the leveling process, I feel like. Sorry, I got some sleep in my eye. They could just smooth out the leveling process a bit. And that would also do it, and just kind of smooth out the amount of XP you need on all the levels. It's fine though. Like it doesn't really bother me that much. I think it's okay. You should add a YouTube link below your Twitch channel. Okay, yeah, I'll stop for a second after this one. Exclamation point YouTube, or it is below my Twitch channel. There is a YouTube link. There should be right below the video if you're on Twitch. There's potentially repeatable quests from the boat captain that reward 20 silver. Sorry, what? Yeah, no worries. Yeah, just let me know. That'll do it. I'm going to sit over here and just make sure that a certain mob doesn't spawn. Yeah, the pale worker spawn. So we just have to pull that one here in a second. Otherwise, we'll get to... I did it at group 28. Got to 30. You can do it at 28, but if you're a healer at 28, it's doable. If you're a DPS at 28, you're pretty much going to be being carried. You're just not going to hit the mobs as much. You can start it, though, at 28. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pull it then. I mean, if we get two at some point, I can always take him to the guards. Yeah. We're good, though. I didn't get two. This is the only one that would cause a double pull right now. The other 3 or 4 that we're pulling are almost always solo. Yeah, that happens. Here, I can use a defensive cooldown for now. Save you a little bit of mana. Dex for archers is great. Yeah, I mean, Dex for archers is good, but you still need strength as an archer because strength is going to dictate your damage for the archer. We farm gear at 50 anyway, I guess. Yeah, you're still going to farm gear at 50. Yeah. Thought it was 5 gold. What, for the mounts? It's 5 gold for the mounts. What are you talking about? For Max Dex is a paladin. I'm not sure what you're talking about with the money part. Anyway, I got kind of sidetracked there. Sorry. There's potentially repeatable quests from the boat captain that reward 20 silver for picking up some underwater crates at the dock area closest to Elftown. Really? That's very cool. I mean, gaining money isn't that hard in this game, so don't worry about it too much. Like I wouldn't stress about it. But yeah, you will be farming a lot of gear at 50. At 50 plus. But you kind of need gear to get there, right? So that's kind of the thing right now. A lot of people have been using Charm quite a bit and leveling up very quickly and not gaining gear. And when you get to the higher levels, you're going to go back and be like, oh, crap. Now I need gear. So that's, you know, be sure that you're looking at getting gear as you level. Otherwise, you're going to have a harder time. You know, that it's something that my group struggled through. We kind of pushed really hard on XP without getting some gear for like the first 20 levels. And then we started to see it when we hit around level 25, 30. We started to see it like this is rough. Like I'm taking way too much damage. The healers are having to heal a bunch. The DPS aren't doing as much damage, so the fights are taking longer. All of that started to add up by around level 25 to 30. Luckily, recently, I got a lot more gear, and things are starting to smooth out a little bit for us. And I'm hoping going forward, we're going to be able to keep up with it. We should be fine now because we got, like, I got several pieces of gear, new upgrades and stuff. I'm still a little bit behind on where armor class should be. I need to get better legs, better boots, better shoulders, better face, better helm. So I do need a few pieces that will help me out considerably. But overall, we're in a better place at the moment. I'm a healer, cleric, but not 29 yet. Still 1, not in the game yet. Nice, taste the wine. Nice, I like that. You'll get there. You'll get to 60 one of these days. I have faith in you. Okay, yeah, that's fine. We'll do that, and then we'll pull the middle mob that's a problem after that. Because it wouldn't be the next mob after this one, it would be the one after that, so it's fine. We'll just sit and wait for that one to spawn. Yep, that's perfect. I mean, it might be up soon-ish, but it's fine. Okay, yeah, if you wait for that one after the next... I think it's going to be the next worker. Uh-oh. Now, you want me to pull one or wait for the worker? All right, I'll let you know. It's not this one. It's going to be the next one, I think. And then, yeah. Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, they need to fix Merciless Assault. Let me see if they fixed it. New window, because it was broken the other day. So if I go to combat, ability, melee, hits, mine. So I'm doing regular damage. Merciless assault. It's supposed to be crits for 12 seconds. I might be doing crits. It may not. It's just not saying crits. Yeah, I think I'm doing crits. It's just not saying it. Okay. Alright, I'm going to wait for the problem one. The problem one's up, so let me know when you want to pull it, and then we can take a break. It's a worker. Okay, I've got defensive cooldown up, too, so... Ink. How good is the new Cannibalize? It's good. Yeah, Gith uses it a lot. So yeah, it's not bad. It's better to use than the old way that they did Cannibalize. Alright, you can go ahead and do whatever. Take a quick break. Yep, no worries. Yeah, we got however long it takes for this to respawn before it's an issue. Alright, quick med break. And water break for me. Level 60's on today? I don't think there's anybody that's level 60. Travis? Yeah, Travis is a dev or something, most likely. That's probably a dev, DJ. I think anybody that's level 60 right now in the game is a dev. The highest level that I'm aware of is 50 or 51, something around there. And they all kind of got ahead of everybody else. So... yeah, they got ahead of everybody else. And now they're kind of like, uh-oh, this content's too hard. We can't keep going, you know? The game definitely becomes more difficult at level 50 plus. And if you soloed to 50 and like no, you don't have other people that you're grouping with, then you're going to be in a much worse situation. Something cool, maybe shamans can get mass group buffs. Archers can get rain of arrows. They might do something like that. We'll have to see what happens. I don't know that we're going to see mass group buff necessarily. I think they're trying to stay away from that. So you're talking about the ultimate abilities for level 60. What they're doing right now, Helter Smelter, is at level... well, they're adding in drop spells and research spells. They've been slowly adding those into the alpha. I'm assuming they're probably in for the beta. But they started with like high level stuff first, and they're going kind of backwards to give you something to go after at those higher levels. Like pet classes getting a special pet at level 60. Healers may get a special heal at level 60. Different classes getting special things at or around level 60. They haven't added too much of that in, but a little bit. What sort of ability would you like to see in a fighter at level 60? Like a riposte? I mean, riposte, I think, should be a skill that fighters get, period. Just at, like, level... They get it at level 20, you know? I lost buffs. Oh, there you go. You got it. So, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what ultimate ability I'd want as a fighter. I would want, like, a defensive ability. I always want more defensive abilities on my tank classes. Like, I do not care about offense. By the way, speaking of damage on the fighter, a lot of people are like, fighter's best damage in the game. It's too good, blah, blah, blah. There's a few people that are saying that. I tested it last night. You ready, or want to wait a minute? Yeah. So fighter does equal damage, I would say. My level 40 fighter is doing the same damage as a level 40 necromancer pet. Literally, like, almost the exact same damage. How we tested that is I used all of my abilities like I normally fight on my fighter with my current gear setup. And I was fighting a mob that my level 40 necromancer friend put his pet on. And we were bouncing threat back and forth between the two. He was not using his threat ability. I was not using my threat ability. Just straight DPS. And it kept going back and forth between the two. So, a level 40 fighter in normal gear, normal leveling gear, not power level, nothing like that, is equal to a level 40 necromancer pet. So, keep that in mind. People keep saying that the fighter is overpowered, does too much damage, etc., etc. Not true. Not true. Skeleton pet. Yeah, skeleton pet. Now, that doesn't include Necromancer Dots, Necromancer Heal, Necromancer Battery, it's Feign Death, it's Bubble, it's Snare. It doesn't include all of its utility. So you have to add that on top of the Necromancer. So you guys can see that fighter DPS is not that great. Sounds more like what an Elementalist pet should do rather than a Necro if we're going by EQ standards. I mean, an Elementalist pet should be good as well. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of where we're at with it right now. Like, I agree and disagree with certain things in the game. But, I'm testing this stuff out, and people keep saying that the fighter DPS is like top 3 DPS. It's just not true. Now, the caveat to that is, yes, I can get some really good gear on the fighter. If I were like best in slot gear at this level, clearly I'm going to be doing more damage than a necromancer pet. But I'm not best in slot gear necessarily. I've got some decent gear. Like I'm not under geared for my level, but I'm not over geared for my level. I might be slightly under geared in some slots, but not really. Like it's, perfect. All right, so the rotation's starting around perfectly again. So taking a break on that worker is... Oh, wait, how did it pull too? I'll run him to guards. Don't heal me. I don't know where that second one came from. It shouldn't have done that. They're so much faster than me when I can't swim. We'll take this guy to this guy over here. Come on. There you go. Alright, who's gonna win this fight? Yeah, he's beating that pale guard. Beating him senseless. Alright, I'm coming back. But yeah, like, anyway, DPS are definitely should be better than tanks. You know, I'm actually fine. Like, it doesn't even bother me that the Necromancer pet is equal damage to the fighter. And that's in offensive stance, by the way. That's another thing I need to make sure people understand. That is the fighter in offensive stance. So it's, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know. Some people think that the fighter's too strong. Yeah, the fighter might be a little bit too good in certain ways, but it's not OP. It's not like way too good in any area. The archer is still okay. The archer is still probably the best overall class right now. We have an archer in the guild that's just really, like, he knows the game really well, and he's doing a lot. He's able to, like, kite named mobs. You know, it's... Archer still needs more... It needs another look. Might be a little too good. Alright, I'm just going to wait for the repop on these. Make sure. Yeah, I'm going to wait for the repop here on the outside. Hey, checking in on new game. Haven't played. Last I watched, you were streaming Pantheon Days. Yeah, it's really, really good. I honestly think, like, from what I've seen, 45 is slow. Or, sorry, 40 is slow, but from 41 to 45, it speeds up. It's like they didn't increase... They, like, increased the amount of XP you get on mobs at this level or something. Something happens, because everyone that I've seen that gets... Once they get through 40, they hit 45, like, the day later. So, I don't know, man. Now, I should hit 41 before you hit 40. No, you should hit 42 first. That's true. Because you're like a full level ahead of me. But I'm in a hell level. And I think Andy is like a full 2 levels ahead of me. Or was, unless he did some XP last night. Yeah, we probably should. We could do that tonight. Yeah. I don't want to do Drakes because it's not worth it. Exactly. We need to go do gear and quests and stuff. Yeah, a lot of good gear, too. So yeah, let's do that next. I'm sure they know where places we can go. Super big EQ vibes here. Liking it a lot. Yeah, it's very much like EQ. Very, very much like EQ. Nope. Mom's home. Mom just got here. Hey, good morning. How you doing this morning? You good? You get a lot of rest yesterday, so I know you did. Hang on one second, guys. Waiting on respawns because of the guards killing them. I'm going to eat a sandwich here real quick, guys. So I'm going to get rid of my camera for a minute. Eat a sandwich while I play here. Sandwich combat, you know. It's what the game's known for. It's what they say. If I can figure out which button to push, it is that one. You come to the stream to watch me eat? Well, sorry. Sorry, bro. All right. Back from the sandwich eating. It's not easy to eat a sandwich while you play the game, but it is possible to eat a sandwich while you play the game. So that sandwich combat is definitely, at least for the fighter, it functions. What's going on, Magicot? How are you doing, bud? What kind of sandwich? I just had a bacon, egg, and cheese bagel. Or steak, egg, and cheese bagel. Fire's going out, but we should be fine. Like, I don't have any more wood, but whatever.
Yeah.
We'll just go until till I have to leave, and then. Dual boxing or actually party member? Actual party member. You're not allowed to box on this server. This is Gith. This is a buddy of mine that I play with a lot. Yeah, this is a no box server. There you go. That's Esar right there in chat. That's Gith playing with me. Yeah, he's working while we're playing. NPCs seem spongy. I mean, they're a little bit. When you have a duo, when you're solo or duo or trio, mobs definitely take a little bit longer to defeat. But when you got to think that this game is meant to be played with 6 players. So if you have 6 people, these die very quickly. So you gotta, you know, you gotta factor all that into. I'm Burl. Hi, Burl. Are we all announcing? I'm Criddle. Nice to meet everyone. My name's Criddle. I am a Monsters and Memories addict. I have been free of Monsters and Memories for negative hours since I am currently playing it. I first started playing this game a year ago. You're not wisecracking every comment or my real viewer. You are not. What's that? Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I think they messed up the math. Like it seems like 41 to 45 is just like skyrockets. And then it slows down again from 45 to 50. Based on what I'm seeing other people do. Because they like, I swear everyone that hits level 41, the next day they're 45. And then from 45 to 50 has been really slow for a lot of people. I said I wouldn't play beta since I know what I was going to do from alpha, but here I am playing again. Really, DJ? Oh my goodness. Yeah, we a lot of my friends were like, yeah, we're not going to play beta. I thought it was just going to honestly just be me and Isar playing beta for the most part. But, you know, my friend group has kind of stepped up to the plate. I'm very thankful for that because, you know, I need people to play with so that I can make content for you all. So I really appreciate them, you know, stepping up and playing the game. Now they're not playing it. None of us are really playing it as hardcore as we would if it were early access. But we're still playing it pretty hard. So I really do appreciate my friend group. I hope they know that. I think they know that. Because it really helps me and allows me to be at the forefront of content. Because there's not many groups that play this much. You know, to be able to, and also streamers or content creators and that. So there are individuals that are soloing a lot, and probably there's individuals that stream that are a higher level than I am, mostly because they're soloing. So I hope the devs are looking at that. I really hope they're considering all of that, because I know that there's Coffee, who has been soloing on a Necro very quickly. There's Troubadour, who's been soloing on a Bard very quickly. There might be some others that have been mostly soloing all the way up. And I hope that they are looking at that. Not saying that they shouldn't be able to solo. Yeah, solo XP is definitely better. I think our duo XP is better. Yeah, it seems to be a lot faster. Yeah. So, Isar's are talking to me about the XP rates, and we think that solo duo XP is still the best way to level. Still. It's more casual. It's just way more laid back, chill XPing. And it's faster. It's more efficient. And that's what that's going to do is it's going to encourage people to join groups temporarily. Exactly. Like if we were in a full group of 6, you would have to focus 100%, you know? But that's the problem right now is in a solo or duo. Yep. Exactly. Like these with just me and you in the mornings is perfect for you getting work done so that we can do stuff later with the group. But yeah, anyway, what we're saying is like, yeah, solo duo is just really good. It's really, really good XP. When we get a full party of 6 together, honestly, it slows things down. The only reason we do our 6-man groups, we can hang out together and be friends and, you know, just chill and chat. We can do camps, like item camps. But the thing is, you're going to be spending most of your time in this game XPing, at least up until like the mid-50s, where you might start camping items. You know, feels bad, man. Feels bad. Honestly, we could be camping items, me and you too. Like we could do this tomorrow over at the other place where we can actually kill like the lieutenant and try to get those gloves for Kaz. We'll see what level we get to tonight, though. We might actually end up out-leveling this tonight with how fast 41 through 45 are. Yeah. Well, in EQ, and I hate using EQ as the reference, but in EQ, if you had 6 people in your party, it was like the equivalent of 3 people. Solo 3 people, basically. This game is like 4 people. So you having 6 is like having 4. So you have to kill 4 times the amount of mobs if you have 6. So they need to speed it up by like 33% or so. Oh yeah, they're probably going to leave it where it is because there's a lot of people complaining still, or not complaining, but a lot of people still wanting to be able to solo and saying that it needs to be good, and it's like it already is good. They don't need to make it better. That's how I look at it. Yeah, this game is built around group play. It's built around socialization. They have to foster it. If they don't foster it, it's going to be an issue. Hey, what's going on, Marty McFlizzy? Marty McFlizzy. I like it. McFly. That was one of my favorite movies growing up. I used to watch Star Wars, Back to the Future, Conan the Barbarian, Beastmaster, Willow. Those are some of my favorites. I still watch a lot of those today. Like, I'll still put Willow on sometimes. That's one that my girlfriend doesn't like, I don't think, when I put on. Because I'll generally at night, you know, when we're going to sleep, we'll put on a TV show or something, usually something that we've seen before. We like to put on comedies. So we put on like a lot of Family Guy, American Dad, you know, stuff like that just for having on when we're going to sleep. But I like to put on Willow. It's one of my favorite movies to put on at night. I'm a little annoyed yesterday. I didn't have my rested buff so much that now I'm a little farther behind than where I was. I hate it. I love Willow. Do you even know me? I know. What I'm saying is, like, I feel like you don't want to watch it as much as I do. You would rather me put on Star Wars, I think, than Willow. I know you don't hate Willow. Like, you're okay with watching Willow. Spaceballs? You're not a big fan of Spaceballs. That's true. I do like putting on some Spaceballs. The Willow sequel was so unnecessary. It came out like 2 years ago. Yeah, yeah, it wasn't great. It was the Willow. I thought it was a TV show. Was it a movie? Or was it? I thought it was a TV show. Like a short series. I don't remember. Anyway, yeah, it was very unnecessary. Very unnecessary. But that's okay. I really like Willow, though. Like, Never Ending Story, that was another really big one. Nice. Yeah. Well, hopefully they start ramping up the difficulty. Well, I mean, they do ramp up the difficulty around 45 to 50. Yeah. The power leveling is way too good. Yeah, it's like you should be able to give that to low level players, and then they should get maybe like one more regen than a spell at that level would give. Yeah. Yeah, I think it should just scale. Like, it should be like one regen higher. So like if it's at that level, it's a 5 mana or health regen. It should be like 6 health regen if you have it. Yeah, I think it's ridiculous. They definitely need to fix the power leveling, because that's going to end up being a whole other issue that's going to cause problems. Yeah, and you're only level 42 and you're power leveling lobies. Yep. Yeah, they're like all their data that they're getting right now, it's going to be gone. They're not going to do AAs. That is kind of, I mean, it's not necessarily off the table, but they're not planning on doing AAs like traditional AAs from EverQuest. They're looking more at doing specializations, where you might do like a quest, and then get like a special ability, or be able to choose between like two different things, like little specializations, but not where you're grinding at max level. AAs are basically just other levels, right? They're just additional levels. So they're not planning on doing that right now. They might, but they're trying to get away from some of the things that EverQuest did. In some ways good, in some ways bad. Like, they copied some things from EverQuest that I'm like, why? Like, what was the reason for copying this? But then at the same time, they're like, no, we don't want to do these other things that EverQuest did. And I'm like, it's weird. You never know what they're going to do. Like, you don't know if they're going to do a one-to-one copy of EverQuest in a certain ability or class or whatever. And then you also don't know if they're not going to do that, because they very well could. AAs can be okay if they're account wide, but otherwise, if it's per character, it makes it so people don't want to make alts. I mean, yeah, that's a valid point. Some people wouldn't want to make an alt if they have to get AAs with both. What I like about it though is I'm not a big alt person. Like, I don't play a lot of alts. I'll play them here and there, but I want to be able to continue to somehow progress my character slowly. So I don't mind something like AAs. I always want to have something to go after to make my main character better. I love AAs. Added some personalization to your character. Well, it did for a little while, DJ. The problem is you could still cap out the AAs. At least the way they did them in EverQuest. You just level up, and there's just a new max level. It's basically your level plus your AAs. So it's, you know, it doesn't really, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but it basically is just like adding in a new max level. Because there wasn't any customization necessarily. It was while you were leveling, because you had to choose which way you wanted to go. But once you have all of them, all like max AAs, you just had every ability. So I think the AA system is very good and unique. Have 2 level 60 characters, be at totally different power level, is a cool feeling. They would be different power levels, yeah. You got to pick your journey through. You do get to pick your journey through. Yeah, you get to pick on which way you want to go. But one of the big drawbacks from AAs is kind of like World of Warcraft. You know what? I need to take some meds. Hang on a second. I forgot that I ate something that's going to make my my rashes come back. Apparently I have a gluten allergy, and I didn't take any med. All right, we should be good now. Yeah, so what it ends up doing with a lot of that stuff is it allows you to spec a certain way. And like what World of Warcraft does, if you have to spec a certain way, then people expect you to play and spec a certain way. You know, oh, you're a rogue in my party. Do you have this skill, this skill, and this skill? Oh, then I don't want you in my party if you don't have those skills. That's what I don't like about the whole specialization thing, and being able to do AAs and flex into certain roles and all of that. I mean, there's going to be a positive and negative to every side, a flip side of the coin and everything. But that's, to me, one of the big things that I didn't like about playing a game like World of Warcraft. You don't have this ability. You're not doing this exact rotation. You're playing subpar for your class. That's one thing I like about this game, and having classes be defined in their role. You know exactly what you're getting when you put a fighter in your group, or a rogue in your group, or a cleric in your group. 100%. This is what you're getting. This is what they're capable of. And it doesn't matter what player, what the player chose. And some people like that, some people don't. But nobody can tell your AAs, so you can ignore all that if you want. You can ignore all that, but the problem is that if you don't have if you didn't go a certain spec, you didn't choose the right thing, it'll come out in a group, depending on what they do with it. You're just not going to be as efficient or as good in a certain way. You didn't choose this extra heal on your healer. You instead chose a DPS ability on your healer, and then I expected you to have this heal, so why didn't you heal me? Well, I didn't have that heal. I chose this other ability. I don't want to be in your group because you chose this terrible DPS ability over this really good healing ability. It starts those kind of arguments. On that tank you didn't choose this specific defensive trait. I don't want you to be my tank in my group. Same thing for DPS classes. You can ignore it. You're absolutely right. And it's not cool when people say stuff like that, but that's what happens in these games these days. Min-maxing is a huge part of MMOs these days. Luckily, the old school MMO crowd aren't quite as elitist as some of the new crowd, at least in my experience. They aren't. Yeah, the old school players are not. However, a lot of them still are, and they just don't realize that they are. That's a huge problem, especially in this game. It's a big issue because you have a lot of people that are like, I don't min-max. I don't do any of that. And it's like, okay, well, do you do this? Do you do this? And you can name a couple of things, and they're like, yeah, I do all of those things. That's min-maxing. They don't think that they do, but they do. Everybody wants to be as efficient as possible. Everybody does. And they try to be as efficient as possible. They may do it in a different way. But it's like you're seeing it with the meditation debate. Should meditate be what it was before? Should it be how it is now? People want to get better gear. Well, why do you want to get better gear? If you're not a min-maxer, then it shouldn't matter if you get better gear. But they still want to get better gear. If you're not a min-maxer, why do you sit down and meditate as a healer? Why don't you melee as a healer? That's part of min-maxing. It's literally part of... All of this is part of min-maxing. These people just don't realize that they're doing it. For some, you don't like min-maxing, but you probably still do it to some extent, man. Like, I'm not saying you're, like, focused on it and you're not, like, looking for it, but you still do it. The old school people are even worse. It's min-max only as much as you want to min-max. Yeah, that there is a line there, right? There is a line where you go really far into it. This 0.5% increase to my DPS because I hit this button before hitting this button. That is clearly a special type of person that cares about min-maxing over there. But, you know, if you don't care at all about min-maxing, then you would use low-level spells. You wouldn't try to buy your newest level spells. You'd be like, it's not worth going back to town to buy my newest spells. That's still, it's efficiency. It's more efficient to buy the new spells. So you're still you're for the minimum effort to maximize your efficiency. That's, you know, I promise you everyone does it. Just the extent at which they do it is the difference. Don't confuse min-max with upgrading, but it's still it's still kind of the same thing. Would you know, I don't know. It's still kind of the same thing. Like when you get 2 pieces of gear and you decide which piece of gear you should use. Both of them are equivalent, are very close. Are you choosing to go more stamina on your gear? Are you choosing to go more strength on your gear? If you have a breastplate that has 40 AC, 3 agility, and then one of them has 5 strength, and one of them has 5 stamina. Which one do you choose? That's literally min-maxing. Are you maximizing your DPS output? You maximizing your health pool? Which one is, in your opinion, better? That's min-maxing, and everyone does that. So, to some extent, I'm not saying that we all do it to the same extent. You know, I min-max a decent amount, but I'm not crazy about it. Redditors are so helpful of everyone with power. They seem evil, and they can't admit that they seek power in games. Everybody seeks power in games. Literally everyone does, right? Min-maxing is taking optimization to an extreme, not just growing your character. No, it's not. That's the definition difference. Like, a lot of people think min-maxing, and they can't see the difference between a little min-maxing and crazy min-maxing, right? Min-maxing is not defined as only being the definitive word there, only taking minimal upgrades. I'm going to go this specific route because it is the best overall option. It's not just that. You're still trying to minimize efforts, maximize efficiency all the time in these games. Everybody's doing it. So, you know, it's there's nuances to it, is what I'm trying to get at. You know, when you pick a certain class, it's happening right now a lot. People are playing the Enchanter and the Bard. Why? They're not playing the Enchanter and Bard because they think that Enchanter and Bard are the most fun class. A lot of people aren't. They're doing it because it is the most efficient class. They may not min-max that class to perfectly, but they're playing the class because it is less effort, more efficient. I'm going stamina. You do more DPS with your HP bar not empty. That's true as well. That's, you know, it's a way to look at it. So upgrading spells, not min-maxing. Upgrading and stuff is not necessarily min-maxing, but do you ever use a lower level spell to do something rather than a higher level spell? Ever? Like, oh, you only need 100 health. And I can cast a heal that gives you 90, or I can cast a heal that gives you 150 but costs more mana. So, you know, some people would choose, oh, I'm gonna do the lower level spell because it's gonna mostly fill you up, but it uses less mana. That's literally min-maxing. You know, choosing strength over stamina over certain other stats based on the gear that you choose, that's min-maxing. It's just not extreme min-maxing. Everyone is trying to make their character stronger in some way. And how you choose to do that is the min-max part of it. And I understand this is it's a hard concept to like really wrap your head around, because there's nuances to it, you know, like I've been saying. In D&D, dumping charisma, even though it doesn't make sense. Putting points into charisma, yeah, but there's reasons for that. If you put a bunch of points into charisma, then you want to be the face of the party in D&D. You have a higher charisma rolls. It's min-maxing. I mean, upgrading gear for +5 attack to +10 attack, or +5 damage, +10 damage. Min-maxing is stat tuning, optimizing game mechanics outside the average player. Yes, that is the difference, Burl. But that's what I'm saying is, when you have a choice between two options, which option do you go with? If you don't care, if you don't care at all, min-max wise, then you'll just take whichever one somebody hands you, and you're just like, okay, I'm happy, whatever, I don't care. But if you ever debate between this item or this item, you're min-maxing. This item has these stats on it, this item has these stats on it. A non-min-maxer would just be like, it's a wash, it doesn't matter. Don't think we define the same. That's the thing. We're not defining it the same way, right? And that's the difference in a lot of these things in this game, is the way that one person defines a topic versus how another person defines it changes things. I say that charm is too strong. Somebody else says that charm is not too strong. That is based on our perception of what is considered strong versus not strong. So we have to find a common ground, then talk about the issue. And I believe that a lot of the discussions on this game come about because of the difference in perception of you know, what you perceive as min-maxing versus what I perceive as min-maxing. But they could both be min-maxing, technically. All right, give me 1 second. Let me find out what time I'm leaving. Okay. Good morning, Overbit. How you doing, bud? Same as Root versus Mez. Root's less mana. Yeah, that's another one. Do you use Root or do you cast Mez on a mob? In some ways, casting Root is less mana, so it's more mana efficient, and it effectively does the same thing. I mean, but again, it depends on your personal perspective on things. Yeah. But I get it, you know. We're all going to look at it differently. I get it. Cast Gate, and Alt F5 the program. can't rely. You can't really root caster mobs. You can't root caster mobs. That's true. Yeah. Min-maxing is about doing something out of character for a roleplay perspective. For gameplay gains. I mean, yeah, I guess you could define it that way too. That's being efficient. Well, being efficient is min-maxing. I mean, that's... Min-maxing is being as efficient as you can be. So, it's your degree of efficient. Your degree of efficiency is where we disagree on min-maxing. Right? Some of you are saying that min-maxing is only when your efficiency has to be as high as possible. That's min-maxing. But I would disagree with that, and I would say that min-maxing is any time that you consider efficiency over anything else. So, like, this item looks really cool on my character, but this gear has better stats on it. If you choose the gear over the really cool looking item, you're min-maxing. In my opinion, right? Some people would disagree and have a different opinion of that, but that is literally min-maxing. In my mind. To me, min-maxing is doing anything the average player may not. Well, no, I would change that though, Burrow. Exactly what you say, but change one word. Min-maxing is doing everything the average player may not. So in any situation that is better, you would always choose that. That is what some of you are defining as min-maxing. Always taking the better option. I'm saying that anytime you choose the better option, it's min-maxing. Literally, that one word makes it completely different statement. Keep nuking and yell at the healer? Yeah, absolutely. Trying to figure out where to turn in these Ashira necklaces for the rep in Night Harbor. Ashira necklaces for rep in Night Harbor. Which Ashira necklaces? Because I think the Ashira necklaces you are referring to are for the Shaman quest. I don't know of Ashira necklaces for rep. There might be, and I just don't know of them. But you killed Ashira, and you're trying to turn them into something? If you want to gain Ashira rep, you need to kill goblins and turn those in. But I don't know what you would do with the necklaces. Thank goodness they gave Cleric root. I can't kill anything unless I root and nuke. At later levels, you can fear kite. You can fear kite undead, which would be really good. Even though that's technically true, choosing between two pieces of gear isn't what people think about when it comes to min-maxing. That's exactly my point, yeah. It's the efficient rate of which you build your character. Well, that's my point, though, Bob. My point is literally that some people don't think of which piece of gear you choose is min-maxing. I do think that is min-maxing. Because you're making a choice between one over the other. Which one of these is better for my character? That is a min-max decision, in my opinion. Other people are like, that is not a min-max decision. That's just making my character stronger. But I would debate that making your character stronger in any way, if you have a choice, is min-maxing. If you have like AA, okay, so here's another one. Offense versus defense stance. Which one do you choose? Do you choose to be in offense or do you choose to be in defense based on what you're doing? If you just leave it in offense 100% of the time and you never choose defense, or if you just leave it in defense 100% of the time and you never choose offense, then yeah, I could see that being somebody that doesn't min-max. But if you're ever saying, I need to do more damage or I need to be more defensive, that is effectively min-maxing. Min-maxing is a game strategy that involves maximizing a character's or unit's most value based on Google. Yeah, sure. While minimizing the least important ones to achieve maximum efficiency. Yes, that is a definition of it. Yes. Scout necklaces. The scout necklaces, I believe, are for the shaman quest. I don't think you can turn those in for anything else. I'm pretty sure. I thought it was a similar system to orc ears. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure Ashira scout necklaces are just for the shaman quest line. Well, and also warrior quest line or something. I think they needed a necklace as well for something. But anyway, we're just gonna we look at min-maxing differently is the short version of this. I'm not trying to argue with anybody. Like I think we're all just looking at it from a different perspective. As most people tend to think about it, is obsessing over. See, and that's the word. You're adding in obsessing over having information that gives you an edge. I don't believe that. I don't think you have to obsess over it to be a min-maxer. I don't obsess over it, but I am a min-maxer. Right? I do want to maximize my character for the minimum effort, but I don't obsess over it. I'm not like, oh my god, if I'm not doing exactly this, because like right now I just spam my 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 buttons, right? I just spam those. If I was a true min-maxer based on what your definition is, I would make sure that I use my frenzy before I use my rend every time, because it has a chance to reset frenzy, but I'm not doing that. I'm missing buffs, but I'm probably got to go here soon anyway. How come fighters using dual wield instead of two-handers? It's better. Well, well, that is min-maxing, by the way. But yeah, T-Con. So like, if you're using dual wield over a two-hander, you know, that's also kind of min-maxing. You know, which one do you use? Do you choose to use a two-handed weapon that has X damage delay, or using dual wield? I got 2. Anyway, you guys see where I'm coming from. Like, we just have a different definition of the extent to which min-maxing matters. That's literally what it boils down to. I figured two-handers would hit harder with double attacks. They do. Two-handers do hit harder with double attacks. But if you have 2 weapons, you're hitting more often. So which one's better? Dual wield is generally better than two-handed weapons, unless you have a really, really good two-handed weapon. So what you want to do with that is you want to look at your weapon, and this is going to be a 1030, and this is going to be a 721. What you do is you would get the ratio. If you want to, again, if you want to min-max, it's all min-maxing stuff. If you want to, you get the ratio of both of those on two weapons, and you add them together. And then you get the ratio on a two-handed weapon, and you compare those. You do have to consider, though, that you're not going to be attacking with your offhand as much, because it has to trigger. But overall, it seems like dual wield is better overall damage, DPS, than two-handed. deliberately not doing things. Okay, technically I agree. Talking about min-maxer. Yeah, and I think that's the thing. It's just that guys, we could go around the circles all day. It's just our different. We have different definitions of what min-maxer is. That's literally all it is. But we all agree. We all understand what min-maxing is. We just have different definitions on what dictates a min-maxer. Obsessing over it, or just playing more efficiently. So that's all. That's literally the difference at the end of the day. Do you ever get bored of just hitting one button when in combat? I do, Raw Sick, yeah. I get very bored of just hitting one button in combat. It's kind of boring. I mean, I don't just hit one button. I do hit, like, my clobber. I also have battle cry. I also have disarm. Like, I've got other abilities that I can use. But I basically am just spamming one button over and over and over. It does get kind of boring and tedious. I would agree with that. Trying to normalize the world and mixing and blur into normal player progression the way the game was designed as doing too much. We know what min-maxer refers to. Those that are hyper-focused beyond the norm. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can look at it that way. Those that are hyper-focused on it. So I'm not a min-maxer. In a lot of y'all's definition, based on what y'all are saying, I am not a min-maxer. But I've been called a min-maxer many times. So, by the same people that say that would define me as not a min-maxer. It's just so weird. It's so weird. Got two again. Yeah, we got that out of the whack here. Anyway, let's kill these two, then I'm gonna have to go. Min-max isn't a bad thing, just means you're smarter than most, honestly. No, it doesn't mean you're smarter. It has nothing to do with intelligence. Like, I know a bunch of idiots that min-max. They're actually not very intelligent at all. But they like to min-max their characters. They look up guides on howtoplayyourclass.com, and that somebody needs to go and buy that, howtoplayyourclass.com, and then that is literally all they do is make min-max guides, build guides for all of these types of games. I just gave somebody $1 million idea. You play Diablo, you play World of Warcraft, you play EverQuest. Doesn't matter what game you play. Howtobuildyourclass.com. It's called Max Roll? Yeah, it's basically Max Roll. Like, has anybody ever done that? Anybody that's not a min-maxer ever followed a guide on Max Roll? I follow guides on Max Roll, but I don't really care about min-maxing that much, right? I'm not obsessed over it. But I do follow guides on Max Roll because it makes it easier for me. It's just like, oh, this is a good build. I know it's a good build. So I'm going to use their build that they've already put the time and effort into. But you know, I just want to have a good character to be able to do content with. I would say you're an optimizer, which is the norm. Yeah, I mean, that's a different word for it. Yeah. Optimization versus min-maxing. I mean, I guess it's the different levels, right? It's different levels. Like, you could say something is big, you could say something is huge, and you could say something is gigantic. All three of those things have different levels of size. However, depending on my size, they could be different. Depending on your size, they could be different. So something that like I could say a rock versus a hill versus a mountain. But then that rock could be gigantic to an ant. So I guess it depends on that kind of thing too. Anyway, the people who initially break down the data to understand how to min-maxer are a rare breed. They absolutely are, yeah. And are probably smarter than most. Yes. They're not most people. Yes, I would agree with that, yeah. The people that actually break down the numbers, that are doing all of the math, they are probably mathematically more intelligent than a lot of normal people. Because they're able to see they're able to do the math to see the small little upgrades, right? Min-maxers are not a camp you want to be part of. It's a plague that has stained the genre for every player. Yeah, I mean, it hasn't, I guess. Congrats on 40. Thank you. I appreciate it. Beyond those trend setter min-maxers, though, there's thousands of players who copy the meta they create. This is who yes, that is who I'm referring to. Yeah, the people who copy that are still min-maxing, but they're not doing the math themselves. They're just saying, hey, this other person did the math, but I'm still going to use that math. So anyway, I appreciate the chat today. It's been fun. It's been awesome. I've got to go to the funeral home with my mom, my stepdad. For those that are new to the channel or just came in the past few minutes, my stepdad passed away yesterday, which is why I didn't stream yesterday. But we've got to go up to the funeral home and do some things to get, prepare for that. So she would like some company to do that, and I'm going to accompany her for that. I may or may not stream later today. If I do, turn on those notifications, come back in, say hello. If I don't stream today, I will definitely be back on tomorrow morning around 8 or 9 a.m. Eastern. I try to stream by 9 a.m. Eastern if I can. I'm going to try to get on a little earlier while I have the ability to do so. So definitely, come in tomorrow if you can't come back later today. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. I appreciate it, and I will see you all next time. Bye.